Hello everyone. This is my second video. So while I was looking at the first one, I saw the last example I discussed wasn't a bit fuzzy in the previous video. So let me quickly discuss this problem. And after that, I'll talk about the application and uses of suffix trees. So let us take the string x, y, z, x, y, a, x, y, z, $sign. So we'll be using we'll be creating a suffix link for this tree in linear time using the Canon's algorithm, right? So we begin at, let's me put numbers here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So we begin at I is equal to 0, that is phase 1. So we are at root. And as of when we begin, we are at this location. Our remaining is 0. Our active node R represented by root or R. Our active edge is -1, active length is 0, and end is 1. So we begin this phase. We increment remainder by 0. So remaining becomes 1. We are at root. We check x doesn't exist anywhere. So we go ahead and create an x edge. Since we have created this new edge, we decrement remainder by 0. We decrement remainder by 1, so remaining becomes 0. And end as we move to the every phase, we should have updated it before. Our end was 1. Or it could be stored at 0. End. Now as we have created a new node using rule 2, and our remainder becomes 0, we move to the next phase. So your I moves to y. So your I is 1 now. As soon as we move to the next phase, we increment remainder by 1, so remaining becomes 1. Your end is updated to the new pointer, which is 1, the new character. So rule 1 automatically applies because we are storing the end of every leaf node, right? So y is automatically updated here. This is rule 1. Now at root, we check whether y is present or not. See, we see y is not present. So from root, we create another edge y. As soon as we created another edge, our remaining is decremented by 1. Remaining becomes 0, and we move to the next phase. See, the active edge and active length is not changing because we are still at root, right? Now our I becomes 2. First thing we do is increment the remaining. Remaining becomes 1 now, right? Our node and all these three represent the active point. Our active point remains the same. We are at the root. So end is updated first. End is updated to 2. Since for all leaf nodes we are putting a pointer for end. So rule 1 is automatically updated. We get a z here, right? Now at root we check whether z is present or not. Now we see that the z is not present as this location. So what happens is we create a value z, right? As soon as we create using rule 2, as soon as we create z, our remainder becomes, we decrement by 1, it becomes 0. we move to the next phase, right? The next phase is we come here. So your I becomes 3, right? I is 3 now. So the remainder is incremented by 1, which happens in every phase. Remaining becomes 1. Remaining becomes 1, which we increment by 1. Your end becomes 3. Now, since we are storing the pointer and pointers to all the nodes, our end is automatically updated, right? So we get an X here, an X here, and X here. Now we are our active pointer is still at the root. We check from the root that X is there or not. We see an X exists. So what we do is we update the active edge to 0 and active length to 1. This is basically rule 2. And we have learned earlier that as soon as rule 2 applies, we move to the next phase. Okay. So we have updated the edge and length. Okay. And we move to the next phase. See, remember, our remaining is 1, we have not decremented it. So when we move to the next phase, that is I is equal to 4, our remainder becomes 1 plus 1, our remaining becomes 2. And end is updated with next node y. So when we are pointing, we are storing the end of every node. So y is automatically updated. Now we check, now in the previous step, we were at this location because our active point was root, move in the direction of edge 1. We were at this point. This was our active point. Okay. From this point, we check whether uh, y is present or not. We see y is present. Now I have explained to you earlier, when we are moving along an edge, we just increment the length by 1. So our length becomes 2. Our active points becomes this, right? And since this is a rule 2 application, rule 2 states you break the phase and you move to the next phase. Remember, our remaining is still 2 here, right? So we move to the next phase. Next phase is I becomes 5. Let me small this diagram so I can add to it. It's a bit big. No, I just cleaned the diagram. It's still the same. So your I becomes 5. Now look at this phase. You know, take your time to understand it. It took me a day to understand what happens actually next. So I becomes 5. This is character A. So remaining which was 2 is incremented by 1. So your remaining becomes 3. Your edge becomes 5. Since your edge is updated with another character, we are storing the end of all leaf nodes. So A is added to end of all the leaf nodes, right? And in the previous step, we remember we were at this point. Our active point was after Y, right? So our active point being represented by root 0, 2 means start from root, move in the direction of 0, which is X, 2 points. We come to here. Now after XY, we check whether A is present or not. We see A is not present. So by the application of rule 2, we create a new node from here. We mark it A, right? Remember our active point is still root. We were at this point. Start beginning from root. This was our active point. So after y, we created an a. Since we created a new edge, we decrement our remaining by 1. Our remaining becomes 2. Now I explained you earlier, when we create a new node, we created a new edge, right? This is the new node that we created. Let me label it L. A capital L is labeling the new node. So we have created a new internal node. So we check what is our active node at this point. Active within the active point, what is our active node? Our active node is root. So what we do? We increment the edge by 1, our edge becomes 1, which was 0 earlier. We decrement the length by 1, our length becomes 1, right? Now we begin from root. We move in the direction of edge, which is y. This is y. We move 1 point. We are almost, we are at this point, right? We see A is present, no, A is not present. So we create a new node here and mark it A, right? Now we have, since we have created a new edge, we decrement it to 1. Now there is a very important thing you have to understand at this point. Let A very important point you have to understand here is, since this is a new node created, let me mark this with M. And the earlier node that we created, we mark with L. Now I have told you earlier regarding suffix link. When an internal node is created in an extension J, then the next node which is created in the extension X plus 1, a suffix link will exist from this node to this node, right? So we create a suffix link from L to M. This suffix link will come very handy when we are moving towards next phases. Right? Now remaining is still 1. So we are still in the loop. We have still not got out. Now I explained you earlier, like now what happens? We decrement our length by 1. Our length becomes 0. So since our length becomes 0 and our active node is root, we are still at this location, which is root. We check at root whether A exists or not. We don't, we see A is not there. We create another edge marked A. As soon as we create A, our remaining becomes 0. And we move to the next phase. Our next phase kicks in. So next phase is I becomes 6. We are at this location. So first thing happens is your remaining is incremented by 1. Your remaining becomes 1. Your length is 6 now. End is 6. So end is pointing to a new. So what rule 1 kicks in? All your leaf nodes are updated with the new one. So this becomes AX, AX, AX. Here X is added, here X is added, here X is added. Right? So let's, this thing is represented as 0 and the new A's that we created will have their own representative. One end. This is one end is representing this horizontal line. Just remember that. And this is being represented. These are leaf nodes are, and this is 5 end. New one that we created. Right? Take a while to understand how we this. go back to the rules. It will help you to understand what actually happened. So we are in the sixth phase, like I explained to you, rule one has applied. So X got updated all the n nodes. Now we are at root. Our active edge is one, but length is zero. So we are still at this location root. Now at this location, we check whether X is present, X is present. So now our edge is changed to 0 because 0 marks the edge. So we are moving in this direction. Our length becomes 1. So this is our active point now, this X. It's important because our next extension will become. Now you see rule 3 applies here. When the string is present, you don't do anything. And I have explained to you earlier, whenever in one of the tricks, when rule 3 happens, you move to the next phase, is a showstopper. So you move to next phase, what happens is your I becomes 7. You are at here. Your remaining, which was 1, is incremented by 1, your remaining becomes 2. Your end is updated as 7. Since your end is updated and all the leaf nodes, we are storing the end pointers. So rule 1 applies and y is updated on all leaf nodes. Now our active point is beginning from root, move 1 in direction of h0. We are at this location. So we check after x, y is there. Yeah, y is there, right? So now what happens? Edges remain the same because we are moving along the same edge and we haven't jumped a node, right? So our length is incremented by 1, so length becomes 2. And this is an application of rule 3. So rule 3, what happens is showstopper, the phase breaks and we move to the next phase. That is, we move to Z. So yeah, I becomes 8 now. Now what happens is your remaining is incremented by 1. Your remaining becomes 3. Your end is now pointing to 8. Now rule 1 applies automatically. Z is updated at all the leaf nodes. Z, Z, Z. Now in the previous phase, we remember our active point was Y, because it said root 02, begin from root, move in the direction of X 2 points. I have updated Z. Now we check whether Z is present. Now we see Z is present, right? But you see this Z is present after this node. This is a very important step. Z is present, but does it present in the node after L, right? So what happens now? Now active node becomes L. Your active edge becomes 2 and active length becomes 1. So your active points become L to 1. So this is your active point has changed, which is starting from node L, move in the direction of Z, Y. This is your starting point. This is Z. Now the next phase kicks in because this is a rule through is a showstopper. We move to next phase, your I becomes 9. We move here, dollar sign. Your remaining is incremented by 1, your remaining becomes 4. Your end becomes 9. Since you are storing the end of all the leaf nodes, dollar sign is automatically updated everywhere. Dollar sign, dollar sign. Now from here the things become interesting, right? You have 4 remaining, tells you still have 4 suffixes that you have to fill. Now I told you earlier, uh, after creating a suffix, after creating, okay, one thing, sorry, before let me begin. So your active point is this Z. Now at Z you check whether dollar is present or that is not, dollar is not present, so you create a new edge label with dollar sign after Z. This is, this can be marked with a new node. Give me 1 second. This can be marked with a new node. Let's call this new node P. Now remember, and our, as soon as we create a new edge, we decrement remaining by 1, so our remaining becomes 3. Now what happened? We have created a new edge. Now we check what is our active node. Our active node is L. So you remember we don't touch active edge or active length, right? Our active node was L. We move from L to the suffix of L, suffix link of L. Suffix link of L is ends at M. Our active node becomes M. We come here and we start moving down the line. We'll see a Z is present, but after that dollar is not present. So we create a new edge with that label and we mark this point as Q. Right? So there exists a suffix link from P to Q. And we decrement the remaining by 1, so remaining becomes 2 because we have created 2 1. And I have like explained you earlier, like every node will have root as a suffix link. So we are at, our active node is now M, right? So what is the suffix link of M? Suffix link of M is, can be marked as this, root. Because every link, every internal node will have a suffix link to other node or the root, right? So now what happens when we move from M to its suffix link, which is root node. We check on the root node whether dollar is there. We see dollar is not there. So we create another label with dollar sign. Our remaining becomes 1. Our active node is R. Now our active node is R. We pick up the active edge, which is Z. We move one direction in the Z. We are at here. This is our active point now. Now we check whether dollar is present or not. No, it's not present. We create another symbol, dollar sign. We decrement remaining by 0. And now we have got a suffix tree. This is how we can check. Let's begin the whole string XY, Z, XYA, XY dollar sign, beginning at second position. Okay, one thing before that. Now, how do we calculate the number for all the nodes? You can do two things. You can either do depth first traversal of the nodes, leaf nodes beginning from the root, count the number of characters that are there, total number of characters minus number of characters in that leaf node plus 1. No, sorry. Since we begin our count by 0. So subtracting the number of characters in the leaf from the number of string, like this is 10, 10 minus 10, this is 0, this is dollar sign here, 10 minus 1, this is 9, this is Z dollar sign, 10 minus 2, 8, this is 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, 10 minus 8, 2, this is 10 minus 3, 7, this is 10 minus 9, 1, this is 10 minus 4, 6, this is 10 minus 5, 5, this is 10 minus 5, one, two, X, Y, Z, 1 second. Okay. So this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 10 minus 7, 3. So we have beginning. So we have, if we want a whole string, we begin at from here, root to this node, we get this 1. We begin from here, root to 1, we get this 2 is here. We begin from root, we go all the way down to 2, we get this 3. We begin from root x, y, x, y, x, y, z. No, 1 second. What did I go wrong? Give me a second. Sorry, it's right. So 3, x, y, a, x, y, z, dollar sign, right. 4, where is 4? 4. 1 second. I've just enlarged the numbers so there is no confusion. So beginning from 0, this is the leaf node. So you begin from here, you get this 1. This is the leaf node. You begin from here, you get this. Then it's Z. This is 2. You begin from root all the way to 2. You get this 3. This is 3. You begin from root X, Y, A, X, Y, Z dollar. You get this 4. This is 4. Y, A, X, Y, Z. You get this 5 is A. This is 5. A, X, Y, Z. You get this 6. This is 6. X, Y, Z dollar. You get it 7. This is 7. Y, Z dollar. You get it 8. This is 8. Z dollar. You get it. And last is this dollar 9. So this is our suffix tree. We got the suffix tree created. I hope you understand this example. I explained it a second time because in the previous video I saw it is a bit fuzzy. So let's get to know the applications of suffix link. Give me a second, I'll just clean the board. Exact string match. Exact string match is as it sounds. You are given a string, a text T, and you have to find out all occurrence of pattern P in it. Now text length is n and the pattern is m. So there are multiple variations of the problem. The first variation is you get both the text and the pattern at the runtime. In that case, what happens is first you create a suffix tree for T, which can be done is on or n time. Then you can find the occurrence of P in, so find pattern. You just traverse a suffix tree beginning at the root, and you can find that in order of m, whether the pattern exists or not. Suppose that pattern exists k number of times. In that case, if you want to find of all the occurrences of this pattern, it will take you order of m plus k time. So total time to process would be order of n plus m plus k, which is again a big of n. So this is one variation. Let me explain this with an example. Let's say we take a tree x, a, b, x, a dollar. Let me enlarge it. So exact string matching is, let's consider a text t, which is x, a, b, x, a. We suffix x to it, dollar to it. So we have to find out all the occurrences of xa in it. 5, 4, 2. We have to find all the, so we have to find out all the occurrences of xa in the string xa bxa. So let's create the suffix tree. 5. So tree. Uh, so exact string matching, real world application is which a US Army uses. There are two variations of it. There's something called mitochondrial DNA. This is a small portion of our DNA. So for soldiers, this DNA is taken and is stored. Later on, in case in a situation if the soldier is killed or is missing in action, so this is used to recognize him, right? Sometimes the DNA that is rendered is partial, so we can do a partial pattern match, or DNA we got from the remains is a complete one, so we can do exact search, exact string search. Another use of this is something called operation, which is there, as of last count there are more than 80,000 US soldiers which have been missing since World War II. So every year there are several hundred remains which are found by US Army teams working overseas. And using this exact string and exact source and suffix string, on an average since 2015, 250 remains on an every year have been recognized. Basically, 250 soldiers remain have been repatriated to US every year for last 5 6 years. So in doing that, what actually happens is for some soldiers since World War II, you don't have their DNA. So what you do is you take the DNA of their siblings or kids or any family members and you do a partial match. The partial match can again be done using string, suffix trees and all that. Now let's talk about another example, which is matching a longest string. Longest, you are given two string S1, S2. You have to find out the longest common pattern between these two strings. And this has a very practical application, something called finding the contamination in a DNA. Let me wipe it out. Now, next thing I want to talk to you about is longest common substring. Suppose you are given two string S1 and S2. This is a very real one application. You have to find the longest common substring which is present in both. Suppose X1 is XAB XA, right? And S2 is something like BAB XBA, right? Now you look at these substitute strings, right? What do you see? You have to find out the longest common occurrence between these two. Suppose you have to find. Then what do? You first thing is you create a suffix tree using XA, right? Which is very simple. Then using the same suffix tree, you create this string BAB, XAB, right? While creating the suffix tree, first suffix tree, you mark each internal node as one. While creating the suffix tree of this using the same basis first, you mark every internal node as 2. So if a node has both name 1 and 2, the subtree starting from that node will represent the common substring in both the strings. This thing has a very real world application. This is something like DNA, finding out DNA contamination. Suppose we have a DNA S1, right? So DNA is used for various things, for research, from crime solving purposes, for finding something that's like that. Given a certain DNA, there could be a contamination in it. Usually, depending on what is the application of the DNA, a contamination to a certain length, say L, is allowed. Anything beyond that, that DNA is contaminated to be used, is over contaminated to be used by anything. So what you do? You create a suffix tree for S1, which is the DNA that you're targeting, and let S represent all the DNA contamination. So using the suffix tree for S1, you create this suffix tree as well, using that tree as basis. Then you locate the highest node of length, which has a common substring. This is again a part common substring problem. Suppose the length of that node is K. So you compare K and L, and that will tell you whether DNAME is contaminated beyond use, or you can still use it. So let me quickly create a general suffix tree for this, and that will help you understand. Okay. So basically, suppose we have, I was just going to show you a quick one example of creating a generic suffix tree. Begin at root. First thing you do is create the suffix tree for this XA, BXA. Now you have constructed a general suffix tree for XA, BXA. Now you construct the suffix tree using this for the second string S2. So first is your this whole suffix. You start from B. You see A is not there. You add a node A, B, X, B, A. Right? Second is this whole string. You see A, next is you begin from A. You see A is there, B is there, X is there. After X, it doesn't match. So you create another node from here, B, A, dollar. Now it's XBA, X is there. Now BA, BA is there. You add a dollar sign here. Last is A dollar. A dollar exists. Now while creating, you could have marked with 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Looking at this tree, if you have marked like in the previous one, this node was 1. This is the common node you get. Mark 1 and 2 both. So the longest common substring is A. For bigger examples, you can find out more. So yeah, that's it. I hope you get something from my video. I'm also attaching my rough notes. All the best. Thank you.